Chapter 4, Releasing Muscular Pain Equals Releasing Emotional Pain. Why would the brain place a standing order for muscles to chronically contract until further notice? The student of Wilhelm Reich, American Alexander Lowen, made considerable progress in this regard. Lowen points out that emotion is motion. Whenever emotion is experienced, the muscles of the body contract in a certain way. For example, you certainly know that each emotion has a corresponding facial expression. There is also emotion throughout the entire body. Sometimes emotions can feel awfully bad. Fear, anger, shame, guilt, envy, disappointment, revenge, rage, contempt, regret, disgust, terror, neglect, loneliness, embarrassment, jealousy, grief, and so many more. These can feel so strange and horrible that we are afraid, even terrified, to experience them. And so we may choose to hold back our emotions. How does this holding back occur? Alexander Lowen suggests, as well as I can presently understand, that we hold back emotions by preventing the movement induced in the body with an equal and opposite muscular contraction to essentially freeze the emotion. Note, Lowen does not mention this equal and opposite idea, rather I inferred it from my knowledge of classical Newtonian physics. Sometimes an emotion may compel us to do something, like yell at someone, or strike them, or to collapse, or cry, or run away. And we may also counter that action by contracting our muscles to prevent that action. The freezing of muscles to prevent movement or action is the physical component of the mind-body process, well known as repressing emotions. Here are some examples of how tensions in the muscles are associated with repressed emotions. Repressed fear is often associated with the chronic muscular tensions that bring the body into this closed, protected position, especially muscles of the neck and shoulders, chest and ribs, and inner thighs. Repressed rage is often associated with chronic tension in the muscles of aggression and punching, kicking, especially the fists, jaw, middle back, between the shoulders and legs. Repressed guilt, regret, and sadness are often associated with chronic muscular tensions in the muscles that pull the body out of this collapsed body structure and can feel like a weight spread all across the neck, shoulders, and back. Sexual shames, embarrassments, inadequacies, and disgusts often lead to chronic muscular tension in the hips, pelvic floor, and lower abs. And all that is just the tip of the iceberg, because literally any time in your life that you have repressed an emotion and not later allowed it to be fully experienced, you have induced a chronic muscular tension into the body by contracting muscles to prevent the action or movement that the emotion is trying to perform. Any person with chronic muscular pain is probably wise to assume that there are thousands, probably tens of thousands, of unresolved physical, emotional, and mental conflicts that all collectively contribute to their experience of pain. The total chronic muscular tension in your body is thus a summation of all the muscular tension that is being constantly held to prevent unwanted emotions from expressing. Therefore, the way towards solving chronic muscular tension is about letting go of the contractions designated to repress emotions and experiencing these emotions. Those two activities are one and the same. Letting go of chronic muscular tension is equal to experiencing repressed emotions. That's quite important. So I'll say it again. Letting go of chronic muscular tension is equal to expressing repressed emotions. The next question to be answered is, therefore, how does someone experience their repressed emotions? Just before we delve into that, I need to cover a common objection. Many people have pain that clearly stems from injuries, a fall involving a twisting of the spine or the hyperextension of a joint or the pulling of a muscle, tendon, or ligament. Is this covered by what I referred to as repressed emotion? Yes, the emotion is fear. In the case of such injuries, it is fear of re-injury and, on top of that, fear of movement. A person who is injured puts in place many chronic contractions of their muscle out of fear of moving in a way that could aggravate their injury. Often a simple sprain or pull can lead to layers upon layers of muscular tension all throughout the body. To recover from this, the person will eventually have to calmly repeat the exact positions and movements that they have been avoiding. When they do so, they will experience extreme amounts of fear, which has been lurking within. Tissue of the body heals with time, but inhibition of emotion and movement causes chronic pain forever. To release pain, a person must face the exact movement or emotion that they've been avoiding. It almost sounds as if I'm suggesting that the method to release chronic muscular pain is therapy, but I'm not. Therapy can help a person get a semi-logical understanding of their problems in life and help them cope, but only very rarely will it have the effect of releasing chronic muscular tension. And by the insight of Wilhelm Reich, if there is no release of chronic muscular tension, there is no release of repressed emotion, and there is no true resolution of inner conflict. The solution to all of this is a type of activity that incorporates your muscles, your emotions, and your thoughts. So far, I've not touched on thoughts. I have only said emotions. I'm saving the discussion of thoughts for later because it's the most complex. You will soon see that it's not really repressed emotions, but repressed thought at the center of all of this. Though perhaps the term evaded thought is more accurate. Summary of this chapter. We can hold back emotions by squeezing our muscles. Every single repressed emotion is guarded by chronic muscular tension. Fear is involved with every chronic muscular tension. A solution that simultaneously considers physical, emotional, and mental factors is required. Exercise 4. Lean backward and tip the head backward. This exercise should be done slowly, with care. Leaning backward or tipping the head backward, causing the spine to extend, usually generates significant discomfort in the lower back or neck. The muscles around the vertebrae reactively squeeze extremely hard. People generally will not tolerate this experience for very long. In general, people entirely avoid leaning back or tipping their head back. This exercise is not in itself dangerous or uncomfortable. The vertebrae of the spine are completely capable of moving in this way. Consider a back bridge in yoga. People who can do this do not have a special spine. The reason we may experience extreme tightening or pain when leaning back or tipping the head back is because we have dissociated from the muscles of the spine. We have lost the ability to perceive them or control them because we have repressed the negative emotions that are trapped in those muscles. Over the years, you should learn to lean backward and tip your head backward, though this will not be a fast process. You will need to do it gradually. Today, either stand, kneel, or sit and lean backward and tip your head back slightly. You may wish to hold the pose for a minute or two. Notice the uncomfortable tensions and ask, what is that tension? Why does it exist? Promise yourself that you will eventually find out and release the tensions. Note, you may open your jaw or keep it closed. Both are different experiences.